Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to the ProView Network studios here in Albuquerque. Sebastian Noel, Aaron Rivera alongside. Take you through all the brackets for baseball and softball that have been released today. First, let's go through some seeding criteria, as we always like to do. The criteria, they haven't changed, but a lot of people still really don't know them. So here they are. It's pretty cut and dry. Finished in regular season district play, head-to-head, if there is one. And then number 3, wins against district champions, regardless of classification. That's the one that kind of gets talked about a little bit, because if you beat up on some district champs in the lower class, you get a lot of credit for that. Overall record, number 4. Number 5, the Max Preps Freeman rankings. And then number 6, member school input, which is a fancy way of saying the coaches poll at the end of the season. But the district play one is going to loom heavy this year, Aaron, because there's a lot of districts that were tight till the very end, including the last Saturday of the season, which saw some crazy things happen in baseball. So if you can't be seated ahead of a district champ, obviously, so that criteria point matters, and it matters a lot.
Yeah, and it was the last week that was really important, of course, because Rio Rancho, they came in as a, top-ranked team, and then their kryptonite came at them at the last moment. Their kryptonite, of course, was Cleveland High School. So Rio Rancho, 22-4 on the season. Well, they lost twice to Cleveland. They did beat them one time, and then on top of that, you saw Los Lunas give away a game to Albuquerque High to give Rio Grande that victory. But La Cueva as well, falling behind Sandia. So some of these teams that many people thought were going to be at the top of the brackets end up falling behind because their district winner has to be higher.
I don't think La Cueva's going to drop that low, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, Rio Grande, they were kind of not in the driver's seat for their district. That's a team that I really like. Coach Griego does such a great job over there. But now, you know, they were going into that last Saturday in the season, possibly not going to be district champs. Los Lunas, you don't want to use the C word, but maybe chokes one away against Albuquerque High. And so Rio Grande still the district champs. By the way, if you're having some viewing parties today, send them to us at ProView TV. Try to monitor that at the desk here. If I don't get to it, one of our good directors, Josh Brown, Jason Pohl back there, they might monitor that as well. So if you have a watching party going on, send it to us. We'll take our first commercial break. When we come back, brackets, next.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm Terry Wilson, quarterback for your New Mexico Lobos. Growing up in Oklahoma City, my Boys and Girls Club was a safe place where I would go to play sports, practice important values like respect and integrity, and of course, always do my homework. Here in New Mexico, the Boys and Girls Club is having a huge impact on kids and teens every day after school. All you Lobo fans out there, support the Boys and Girls Club and help our young people learn and grow. Great futures start here.
Mayfield Lady Trojans are the first watch party that came across my Twitter feed, and followed closely by the Volcano Vista Hawks softball program. So let's get right into softball since we saw those two watch parties. There we go. Ladies first. They sent us the first watch party, so they'll get the first bracket. It's going to be softball. I think we have the 4A softball bracket that we're going to get to you first. I know Mayfield is waiting to see where they will appear. There it is. There's the 4A bracket for you. It's going to be Artesia, the number 1 seed there, going against the number 6 seed, Kirtland Central. Congratulations to Coach Sandra Polito, the district champs out of District 4. Right below them is the 8-9 matchup between Los Alamos and Valley. Congratulations to Los Alamos. They're the district champs out of District 2. They'll get the runner-up out of District 6 in the Valley Vikings. Below that is the 5-12 matchup. It's Bernalillo. The Spartans are the 5 seed. They're the district champions out of District 6. And they'll get Albuquerque Academy, the 12 seed. That is a district rivalry. Academy, 3rd place in District 6. They'll face a very familiar opponent in the opening round. Lovington is the 4 seed against the 13 seed Goddard. Congratulations to Coach Reyes, 2nd place finishers out of District 4. They'll get the tough Goddard Rockets team, though. That's a 4th place finisher out of District 4. Silver. That is softball royalty at the number 3 seed. Congratulations to Silver. Coach Lopez, they're the district champs out of District 3. What else is new? They'll get Bloomfield in the opening round. 3rd place finisher out of District 1. In the 6-11, it's St. Pius. The Sartans are the 6, and the 11 is Portales. St. Pius, Coach Marquez, the district champs out of District 5. Congratulations to them. They'll get Portales. The 7-10 features Aztec and Belen. Aztecs the 7, Coach French, second place finish in District 1. They'll face Belen. The Eagles under Coach Duran finished second in their district as well. That's District 5. The number 2 seed is Gallup at the bottom of the bracket there. Congratulations to Coach Spencer. The district champs out of District 1 are the Lady Bengals of Gallup, and they won't have to look very far for their opponents. It's Mayamura. They'll get Mayamura also right there across town from Gallup. Coach Vincent finished 4th in District 1. He'll take the trip across town to face the number 2 seed Gallup. That is how the 4A girls bracket kind of shapes out. The first thing I do want to bring to everyone's attention is if you're looking for a game to go watch or someone you have to see, it's Artesia's Riley Crandall, right? 13-2, an ERA just over a half. And in her 86 innings, Aaron, she struck out 172 batters.
Yeah, 172, and next year you won't be able to watch her in Artesia. You're going to have to go to Texas because she's already committed to Baylor. She's also one of the team's top batters as well. She leads them in average. She doesn't lead in runs, but, I mean, runs batted in. She's all over the place on their offensive side. And, I mean, you also see people like Madison Martinez who are doing a lot of batting for them. But when you look, I mean, Riley Crandall was great as a freshman already pitching for that team when they started. I mean, they were the ones that broke Silver's streak. Silver was on a long streak. Silver had to move up and play against Artesia. And Artesia right now, they're on a streak right now. I just don't see that there's a lot of teams that can really come up and beat them.
Right. So that being said, Josh back there and Jason, can you throw the bracket up right there? Can you look right there? Can you throw it up right there? Or just put it over our faces? Let's put the bracket back up one more time. With that being said, are we going to get another Artesia Silver collision course? They're on opposite side of the bracket. Silver's a 3. What do you think, Aaron?
Well, it's a tough one because obviously Gallup is there as the number 2, and rightfully so because Gallup last year was in the championships, and they're really good at pretty much most sports, and while they do have that crosstown rivalry that can kind of mess them up, I like Aztec, I like Belen, but I think Gallup's going to work their way through, so we're probably seeing that 3-2. And it's all about who can come out. Obviously, for Silver, they're looking at Larissa Rueda, who's one of the state's leaders in home runs, so can she help kind of pull the Colts over and get them into the championship game? It would be great to see.
I don't even know if you answered my question there. I'm
uncommitted. I'm uncommitted.
That's unlike you to be so non-committal. So
well, I'll be trying to sneak in to see who gets in because Silver's really good, Gallup's really good. I think Artesia's certainly going to be going through. There's a lot of good teams on their side too, but I just really think Silver and Gallup, that one's a toss-up to me.
Right. But again, we should mention, if you get a chance to go out and see Riley Crandall pitch, this will be the last time you get to see her pitch before she heads off to Baylor. And also, that's the beautiful thing about softball, right? Unlike the baseball tournament, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but in softball, championship game, the team's best pitcher is going to be pitching.
Oh, yeah.
So if we get that matchup between Riley and possibly Silver, again, that should be an instant classic, right?
Oh, it's going to be fantastic regardless because we're going to get to have that chance to see Riley in her final. I mean, the same way that years ago when we look at some of the players, Martinez for the UNM Lobos back when she was with Rio Rancho, in the state championship game, we got to see her have her kind of crowning moment for the Rio Rancho Rams. And assuming Artesia can get into the championship, we will likely see Riley Crandall try to put the frosting on top of the cake of her high school career.
All right, here's a question for you. Another one. You can commit to this answer, hopefully. Better uniform than Silver. Is there another team in that bracket that has a better uniform than Silver? No way, right?
Nope. In fact, back when I did my first All-Star game, I loved the Silver uniforms because while all the players are wearing the same jersey with the same number on the back, Silver had those sweet pinstripe pants,
stripes,
and you could pick off pretty quick who played for Silver. And yeah, Colts, I always loved the pinstripes. I was saying the other day, the Albuquerque High baseball jerseys, the green pinstripes, you can't go wrong with pinstripes.
That's true. All right, more brackets here. I believe we're ready for the 5A softball bracket here. And there it is. Let's take a look at the number 1 seed. It's Carlsbad. Not much of a surprise there. Congratulations to the district champions out of District 4. They'll get Sandia, the Matadors, sneak in. 13-11 overall record. They were right there on the bubble. Sandia is in. They'll have a long way to travel in the opening round. The 8-9 matchup features Mayfield and Pedra Vista. Congratulations to Coach Dominguez and Mayfield, third place finisher out of District 3. They'll face PV, second place finisher out of District 2. Congratulations to Coach Kevin Worth and his team there. The 5-12 matchup features the number 5 seed Rio Rancho, the district champs out of District 1 against Roswell. Roswell, third place finisher in District 4. The 4-13 matchup features La Cueva at 4. The Bears are the district champs out of District 2. Congratulations to Ron Romero and his Bears, who will have a big winning streak heading into this tournament. They'll get the number 13 seed Atrisco Heritage. A couple of APS schools will do battle in the first round. They're the 4th place finisher out of a very strong District 1. Bottom half of the bracket, the number 3 seed is the Tigers of Alamogordo. 2nd place finisher out of District 3. Congratulations to Coach Reyes. They'll host the Monarchs of Manzano. Manzano is the number 14 seed. Coach Gamboa, the district champs out of District 5. Obviously, the 14 seed shows you that district was not one of the stronger districts. So they're a district champ. They'll have to pack their bags and travel in the opening round. Cleveland is the 6th seed. Congratulations, Coach Castillo there at Cleveland. The Storm, district runners-up in District 1. They will host Farmington. Tim Trotter and Farmington, 3rd place finishers out of District 2. The 7-10 matchup features Hobbs at 7. Congratulations to Coach Dean Crossland, the runners-up in District 4. They'll host the 10 seed Volcano Vista, 3rd place finisher out of District 1. And then at the bottom of the bracket there you see the 15 seed. It's Cibola. Congratulations to longtime head coach Gene Victor. The 5th place team out of District 1 gets in, and they'll travel to number 2 Centennial down in Cruces. Congratulations to Coach Fernie Valles. They're the district champs out of District number 3. That's the bracket, and it looks like somehow, we don't have a lot of District 1 teams playing each other, right? They're kind of spread out, which is a bit surprising because there's so many of them in there.
There are so many of them in there, but right now this is kind of Carlsbad's game to lose, although the interesting thing is their district opponent, Hobbs, showed that Carlsbad could lose because coming up until those two teams played against each other at the end of the season, Carlsbad was undefeated. And finally, Coach Crossland and Hobbs were able to beat them 8-6, and that's why they're only 25-1.
Only?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Only
25-1, right? But those District 1 teams, you have Rio Rancho, you have Cibola, you have Volcano Vista, and of course the defending state champions hiding in there as well. Like, it's always one of the toughest districts to play in, but right now I just don't think that the champion is really looking out of that district.
La Cueva has won 14 games in a row, I believe, coming into this tournament, so they're certainly red hot. Okay, you said it's Carlsbad's tournament to lose. I'll put you on the spot. Is there a team in that bracket that can beat Carlsbad again? Is it Hobbs again one more time, or is it someone else?
You know, Hobbs is the only team so far to have beaten them. Centennial, of course, they have Caprice Barella. She leads the state in wins with 21. Very impressive. We've got 199 strikeouts from Alamogordo, Sidney Licentine. I mean, those two teams, depending on who the pitcher is in that. But the big difference, and we were talking about it before, Sebastian, with softball is it's not a one game and you're done. You have to beat a team, well, a team has to lose twice to be knocked out. So even if you get to the finals and you beat Carlsbad in the first game and Carlsbad hasn't lost, you'd have to beat them again.
Right.
Or the first time you knock them out, you'll have to play them again in the finals. However it works, it's double elimination throughout. So I just don't think there's really a team that can take Carlsbad twice. Jessica Monroe, one of the leaders in home runs in the state with 14, but then Faith Aragon, just an amazing pitcher for them, and she's been for them. Carlsbad is just a stacked team right now.
Yeah, so I guess the real question becomes not who can beat Carlsbad, but can anybody beat them twice? And you don't think so, and I tend to agree with you.
It's going to be tough.
25-1. Again, they'd have to lose twice in championship week, and I just don't see that happening. Congratulations to Carlsbad. They're the number 1 seed. That is the 5A softball bracket. We'll take another.
Hold on.
Wait.
If I'm going to pick one sleeper, though, or just an interesting game to watch, that quarterfinals, if Piedra Vista can get through Mayfield, Piedra Vista has some really good players on their team, including Emma Lovato and Acacia Grogan, who can pitch, but then Maddie Van Ripper, she's been just a great power batter for PV for years. If Piedra Vista can get through Mayfield, maybe that's going to be a little bit of the momentum for somebody that could maybe get through Carlsbad.
With a name like Van Ripper, how could you not be a good hitter,
also,
right?
So great baseball, softball name.
Potential La Cueva Rio Rancho matchup, by the way, as well in the second round. We'll take another timeout. Watch parties. Tweet them at us at ProView TV. Baseball brackets on the other side when we get back.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Let's go straight into the 2A bracket. 5 championships in a row for Texaco. But boy, we'll get to them in a minute. But the number 1 seed, no surprise at all, it's the Eunice Cardinals, the state record holder for the most state championships. They're at the top with the bye. The 8-9 features Laguna Acoma. And then the Manal team there is at 9, Manal Oak Grove, I beg your pardon. The 5-12 is Santa Rosa and Penasco. The number 4 seed is Tularosa that will receive a bye. The 3 seed is Capitan. Capitan gets the bye. Congratulations to Coach Weems. They're 13-6. The 6-11 features Estancia and the number 11 seed Loving. And then the 7-10 is McCurdy against the 5-time defending champions Texaco. New head coach. That big talented senior group has kind of all moved on. Texaco kind of struggled to an 11-12 record. And the number 2 seed is Rehoboth Christian. That's your bracket on 2A. We start, obviously, with the record team, Eunice. No one has more state titles with them. A lot to talk about when we get to Eunice, but I want to start with their pitching staff. 7 different pitchers have a win for Eunice. It starts there, doesn't it, with Tucker. He's got an ERA under a half. He's 53 strikeouts in 29 innings. Conager Pierce is 3-0, ERA of 1.5. He has more strikeouts than innings pitched. Zeke Benton is 3-0, an ERA of 1.5. He has more strikeouts than innings pitched. At this classification, Aaron, does anyone have more pitching depth than Eunice?
No, absolutely not. And you mentioned, Conager Pierce listed in there. He's already got 1 state championship under the belt. So it's not just having that pitching depth, but also that leadership in the locker room of somebody who knows what it's like to be in these big games. Eunice, their only loss on the season coming to Lovington, so everybody else that's come has been beaten down right now. Eunice just looks so strong, and nobody really wants to even try and bat against them.
Zeke Benton also with a 574 batting average. Micah Tippett is hitting just under 500. He has slugged 3 home runs, and Jorge Ontiveros is right there at 500. He's slugged 3 home runs. So Eunice really is the team to stop there. Can Rehoboth Christian do that? They are the number 2 seed. Antonio Rivas with a 491 batting average, 21 RBIs. He kind of leads them at the plate and pitching. He struck out 44 in 21 innings. They do have Mateo Chapman right behind him. Talon West can give you some innings. So they're definitely not as deep as Eunice, but they have a couple of arms, don't they?
They have a couple of arms, and they just have the talent to get through it all as well. Another team that has only lost to teams at a higher difficulty than them. In fact, their only loss on the season coming to Gallup for a school. So you look at Rehoboth, and I've been burned already on these seating selection shows picking Rehoboth, but they're not a team that you should sleep on this year. Obviously, so much talent on the team, and just they've beaten every team that's come to play against them as well. They haven't played Eunice, and we talk about kind of baseball is one of those sports where you can get teams to sneak in and play against each other from across the state. But it'll be interesting if these two can come against each other. But Texaco, like you mentioned at the beginning, 5 straight championships. The only team that, or the last team to win other than them was Eunice. So you have that championship caliber leadership. Texaco could be a sleeper sitting at 10.
I think that might be a little stretch. Coach Thatcher has retired, obviously. A lot of those studs have moved on. It would be tough for Texaco to make their way through this tournament. But you're right. You never know. I mean, it's all about pitching when it comes to this tournament. If you can get an ace going and that ace can get you the first round win, especially at this level, right? It's hard to see what will happen after that. By the way, scheduling-wise, check the NMAA website where we got these brackets, the NMAA website, for the 2A bracket. The schedule is a little different in 2A, but it all culminates with the 2A championship at 1 p.m. Well, I think we're ready to move on, Aaron. I know you are. Let's go to the next bracket, and that would be the 3A baseball. So let's go 3A. Number 1 seed there is St. Michael's at the top. Congratulations to St. Mike's, Coach Augustine Ruiz, the district champs out of District 2. The 8-9 matchup features Santa Fe Indian School. The 4th place finisher out of District 2. They'll face the Dons of West Las Vegas, 5th place finisher out of District 2. 5-12 matchup, it features East Mountain, 2nd place finisher in District 4-5, and they'll get Hatch Valley. They're the runner-up in District 3. A bye goes to Robertson and Coach Leroy Gonzalez, the 2nd place finisher in District 2. Another bye goes to Nimi. Congratulations to them. They're the 3 seed. Coach Ward, 3rd place finisher out of District 4 and 5. More on Nimi in just a moment. You talk about a must-see guy. I'll tell you about him in a moment. 6-11 matchup, it's Cobre against Zuni. Congratulations to the Cobre Indians. They are the number 6 seed. Coach Acosta is a district champ out of District 3, and they'll face Zuni at the 11 seed there. Coach Begay, the runner-up in District 1. 7-10 features Raton. They get the home game. And Coach Giacomo, 3rd place finisher out of District 3 against Navajo Prep. They are the 10 seed there. And then the other bye and the last bye at the bottom of the bracket goes to the number 2 seed, and that is Sandia Prep, the district champs out of District 4-5. That's your 3A bracket, and we were talking a little bit about must-see. And let's start with Luis Patron, right, from Nimi. Mm-hmm. Senior, 8-1, 1.06 ERA, 59 2/3 innings, 145 strikeouts. So he's striking out more than 2 guys an inning. And he had a no-hitter earlier in the season, I believe, with 20 strikeouts. Did he not?
He did, and that's what you want when you're talking about baseball, a guy who, first round of baseball, we all know the best pitcher is going to come out. Well, for Nimi, first round's a bye, so that means that for Cobre and Zuni, whoever comes out of that one, they're going to be facing off almost certainly with him, and that means that they probably won't have their best pitcher to face off. So Nimi, it makes life a lot easier for them when you not only have that bye, but have probably one of the best pitchers in the state.
So then the question becomes, does he throw on Thursday, which would be the quarterfinals, at Cleveland High School? The 3A quarterfinals are at Cleveland, 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m. Does he throw in that quarter, or do they hold him for the semi? Do they dare hold him for the championship? That always becomes a question when it comes to baseball tournament time, right? Is when does Patron throw?
Yeah, because you have the pitch count rules, so it all depends on how many tiers. I expect you want to make sure that his arm stays nice and warm. So I think you come out, you bring him on Thursday. Now you don't have him pitch 80 pitches. You don't have him pitch anywhere close to that. You probably just want a couple days rest for him, but you want for Patron at least the chance to pitch during the week. Right. That way he's not taking an entire week off between.
But worst case scenario, they're in a close game. They can't afford to take him out. They burn his pitch count in that quarterfinal. He's not available in the championship if they get there. Some other teams to watch there. St. Mike's, C.J. Seiss, a .667 batting average with 5 home runs at 45 RBIs. They also have Owen Gruda. He's 9-0 with a 2.40 ERA. And then, of course, when we talk about pitching depth, speed on the bases, fundamentals, that's Sandia Prep. Can the number 2 seed win this thing? Is St. Michael's the favorite? What jumps out at this?
Well, so you mentioned Sandia Prep, and we were just talking about Nimi. So Sandia Prep was the ones who knocked Nimi out last year. And always good, of course, they've got one more run for their pitchers, but I'm looking at the other side of the bracket, that St. Michael's-Robertson side. St. Michael's and Robertson have played against each other in a whole host of state championships already this year, and Robertson's come out on top. St. Michael's are finally the top seed here, and they're the ones, they can kind of make their destiny. But in the same district as them, they've got Raton. So Sandia Prep, they take on the winner of the Raton-Navajo Prep game. Well, Raton, if they can get past Navajo Prep, they're battle-tested. They've played against St. Mike's already twice this year. They played against Robertson already twice this year. Some of the top teams, Sandia Prep, it's just not quite as difficult a road to get here as it's had for Raton, so we'll have to see just how those games play out.
Yeah, and for those of you that haven't checked out the NMAA website, which is where we get these brackets, single elimination for 2A in the opening round. Now, 3A does feature best of 3 in the first round. So back to that normal best of 3 in the opening round. So for 3A, that means that weekend it will be a best of 3 possible, of course, if necessary. Same thing for a 5A that has the best of 3 matchup, and then it's single elimination the rest of the way. It's something that is obviously peculiar about the tournament because it pretty much guarantees that there's not going to be a stud pitcher pitching in the championship game. At least I don't recall the last time I called a championship where someone's ace was actually pitching. It's just something that doesn't happen because you can't afford to hold them. Maybe you never get a chance to use them, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of teams out there, I don't want to call any specific, but they might have their stud pitcher, and then beyond that, it's kind of a platoon show, right? There's not a whole lot of teams where they have 3 studs where you can, maybe your number 2 guy and your number 3 guy, they aren't the best pitcher in the state, but they are guys who can hold down 5-7 inning games. So you end up having to pitch him no matter what.
Right.
And once you start doing those pitch count numbers, you say, okay, even if you can get your stud in, he's not going to be able to pitch the entire championship game.
By the way, that 3A championship, it's 4 o'clock at UNM is where that 3A championship will take place. For a bracket, let's take a look. Again, not much surprise at the top there. The number 1 seed, it's the Chargers of Albuquerque Academy. They're the defending champions. They're the district champs out of District 6, and they'll face the 16 Kirtland Central 4th place finisher out of District 1. The 8-9 matchup is Valley, the Vikings, coached by Chad Kuhn, will get a home game against Belen. Valley is the 2nd place finisher out of District 6. Belen is a 3rd place finisher out of District 5. Then right below that, it's the 5-12 matchup. It's Aztec. Congratulations to Coach Eli Wyatt. They're the district champs out of District 1. They'll get a very tough opening round test in Hope Christian, the 12th seed, under first-year head coach Fernando Salinas. He's coaching football and baseball at Hope. They're the 3rd place finisher in that district. The 4-13, it's Grants. The Pirates are at number 4. Congratulations to Coach Saraceno, runner-up in District 5. They'll get Bloomfield at 13. They are the 3rd place finisher out of District 4. Below that, it's the 3-14. It's Los Alamos. Congratulations to the Toppers and Coach Martinez. They're the district champs out of District 2 are the Hilltoppers of Los Alamos. They'll get Valencia. Valencia's 14th. They're the 4th place finisher out of District 5. Right below that, it's Santa Teresa. They're the number 6 seed. They're the district champs out of District 3. And they'll face Mayamura, the 11 seed. They're the 2nd place finisher out of District 1. The bottom of the bracket, we rounded out with Artesia. The Bulldogs will get a home game against Goddard. Goddard is the number 10 seed. Coach Alvarado, runner-up in District 4. He'll have to travel to Artesia. That's where J.J. Ortiz and his team, the district champs out of District 4, will be waiting. The 2 seed, it's St. Pius. They'll get the home game. Congratulations to the district champs out of District 5, Coach Matt McCoy and company. They'll welcome in the Ruidoso Warriors. Ruidoso, 2nd place finisher out of District 3. They'll have to travel. St. Pius. Did you know, Aaron Rivera, that I was just in Ruidoso and the very first tee at the links at Sierra Blanca? It's right next to the baseball field where the Ruidoso Warriors play. So I watched a little bit of Ruidoso baseball.
So the trip was really about work.
It was a work trip, exactly. I was taking in some Ruidoso Warriors baseball because it's right there at the links of Sierra Blanca. All right, lot to cover here. Academy is obviously the heavy favorite, led by Devin Johnson with his nearly 500 batting average, 4 homers, 35 RBIs, and they're deep on the mound. They have Lasher, Gato, Herod. I mean, they have the arms to win this thing again. Talk about Academy first.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, we got lucky earlier in the season to see Academy play in that tournament down in Rio Rancho, the Sal Puentes. They got to play against a team a couple of teams that are going to be probably near the top of the 5A brackets in Carlsbad, in Rio Rancho, or they didn't play Cleveland. And Albuquerque Academy was very competitive against those teams, obviously losing 1-0 to Carlsbad. So we know that their defense can hold it down. The question is going to be, can guys like Devin come alive and get the offense going? Right now, looking just at the bracket, it's probably not going to be a ton of pitching against them, and their biggest foe in that bracket is going to be Grants, who they've already beaten on the season.
The St. Pius, the number 2 seed, do they have enough pitching? I don't think that's a very deep pitching staff compared to St. Pius teams of old.
No, coach is going to be looking for offense out of that team. I mean, that's what they do is they string together hits, and they can get a couple of home runs, but really that's an extra base team the whole way. And I've seen them have a little difficulty on defense, but for the most part, their defense is pretty sound, and they're going to really look to just blow teams out of the water.
Right. Speaking of golf tournament this morning, played with Santa Fe basketball head coach Zach Cole, Carl Morano, and Steve Davis. Ran into Chad Kuhn, the head coach of the Valley Vikings. And he has at his disposal a lefty and Alex Gilliam, who could beat, I think, any team in this tournament. They almost beat Academy. They lost to him at the last game of the season, 1-0. So the question becomes, when does Alex Gilliam pitch for Valley? Because when he's on the mound, they can beat anybody.
And Gilliam, he's already dedicated for college, correct?
I believe so.
I believe he's he's staying in state, but Gilliam is a fantastic pitcher. They've also got some of their studs from the football side. Hohola, and you got Ricky Henderson as well. It's just a really solid team through. So when you look at what Valley can do on both the offensive side, I mean, for them, the big struggle is keeping the runs away. So when you don't have Gilliam on the mound, because he can't pitch every day, this isn't softball, can you keep the runs from the other teams off the board, or can you outscore them? Because I just don't think that they have enough to outscore every team.
Right.
But as long as they can keep the runs off the board, Valley should be pretty deep in this tournament.
The offense obviously led by Xander Dye with his .460 average, 15 doubles. Anyone else on that bracket there? I mean, Academy's such a heavy favorite, aren't they?
Hey, they snuck it behind us.
Yeah, they're right behind us. Academy's such a heavy favorite. Is there someone that can beat them in that bracket?
You know, like I said, I like Grants a lot. They're going to probably blow through Bloomfield. They've already beat them twice. St. Pius is going to be competitive for them. I just don't think really anybody has it. Academy, they're the defending state champions, and they're there for a reason. And I just don't think there's a team that has as much as St. Pius did last year to compete with Academy this year.
I like Aztec a lot in that bracket as well. Ryan Ray with a .500 batting average, 5 homers, 31 driven in. He's got 11 doubles. He's got 11 triples. He's scored 46 runs. And Brandon Arellano, 55 innings, 99 strikeouts. If someone has a 1-2 punch that can win them 2 games in a row, it's definitely Aztec, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got a lot of strength on them. I'm just wondering how good Hope Christian's going to be against them, because so that side is all stacked with people from the same district. This District 5 has got Academy. It's got, Hope's not in that district with them, are they?
That's a district that's stacked, yeah, but they're in the same district. They're both in District 6.
So no matter what, Aztec's going to have to go basically through that entire
They'll
district
have to
get through. So it's going to be a tough time for them. I like the team, but that district's pretty much owning that side of the bracket.
Yeah, I think that is an Academy championship coronation, but you never know with pitching.
That's why they play it.
That's, with pitching, you just never know.
And having to go through series as well.
And it's hard to repeat as well, so that's something else that Academy will be facing. All right, 5A baseball. The big one here. At the number 1 seed, no surprise, it's Carlsbad. The Cavemen are at the top. Congratulations to Cody May and the district champs out of District 4. They'll host the El Dorado Eagles. The Eagles sneak in there at 16. They split a doubleheader against La Cueva to end the season. Mike Robertson returned to the dugout. Former head man there at San Diego. 5th place finisher in District 2. Tells you how strong that district is. El Dorado's able to get in. The 8-9 matchup, what a matchup between Rio Grande and Farmington. Congratulations to Orlando Griego and the Ravens. You get your home game, but you have to face the 9-seed Farmington, the 3rd place finisher in District 2. Of course, Rio Grande, we mentioned it at the top of the show, they're the district champs again out of District 5. What a job Orlando's done there. The 5-12, it's Hobbs and Las Cruces. Hobbs is the home team there, the Eagles, under Coach Marco Boyle, runner-up in District 4. They'll face Las Cruces, third-place finisher in District 3. The 4-13, it's Oregon Mountain against Los Lunes. Oregon Mountain, Coach Alan Edmondson are the district champs out of District 3. They'll be at home there against Los Lunes, the 13, at Coach Stearman's. The 3-14, it's the La Cueva Bears, the defending champions. La Cueva, a few slip-ups down the stretch there under Gerard Pineda. They finished second this year in that district. They'll host Piedra Vista. Congratulations to Coach Curley and Piedra Vista, fourth-place finisher in that same district. A familiar foe district matchup there in the opening round. Cleveland and Centennial is the 6-11. Congratulations to Shane Schallenberger and the Storm, the district champs out of District 1. They'll host the Hawks of Centennial. That's a very good 11 seed there, Centennial, as a runner-up in District 3, coached by Rusty Evans. The 7-10, it's another district matchup. It's Rio Rancho, the Rams against Volcano Vista. Boy, that matchup, we'll talk about that in a moment. Second place finisher, Ron Murphy's Rams. Very familiar opponent, Volcano Vista. And then rounding up the bottom of the bracket there, congratulations to Coach Chris Eaton and the district champs out of District 2, the Sandia Matadors, as they'll host Mayfield, the 15 seed. Mayfield gets in. They're the fourth place finisher out of District number 3. This is a lot of quality teams here. The one that just absolutely jumps out of the page at me, well, there's two of them, Rio Rancho and Volcano Vista. Let's have you talk about that one first.
Well, so obviously the big thing for Rio Rancho, like we talked about at the top of the show, they lost to Cleveland in the last week of play, which dropped them down, which looking at where it is now, who knows if maybe Rio Rancho would have been the 6th seed or they've been higher than that, but it might have made their way a little bit easier since they play against Sandia, a team that they've seen before, but that Rio Rancho Volcano, I mean, their kryptonite has been their district because Rio Rancho's otherwise been almost unstoppable. Of course, the team that beat them last year, Oregon Mountain, on the other side of the district too, or on the brackets as well. So that might give them a little sigh of relief. But that Volcano Vista Rio Rancho game, I mean, they're going to be playing again. How many times can you play the same foe in 1 year?
The matchup that really jumps out at me, though, the one I hope I'm calling in the opening round, it's the 8 seed Rio Grande against the 9 seed Farmington. I think that's going to go all 3. I really do. The question for Farmington's going to be, when do they throw Zach Rachel? There's a good chance they're going to win Zach Rachel's start, right? So when do you want to start him? Do you put him out right away in that first game on Friday night? Do you save him for Saturday in the opener? Obviously, you wouldn't save him for the third game because what if they don't get to that?
I would throw him in the second game. What's interesting about that one is because we already saw Rio Grande and Farmington. By the way, I caught that you're calling dibs already.
Yeah, I did. I caught dibs on that, yeah.
So Rio Grande, Farmington, we already saw them play once this year. He didn't pitch in that one, but Rio Grande ran Farmington out of the field. And guess what? That was at Rio Grande High School. This one's going to be at Rio Grande High School again. So even if they can punch in one guaranteed victory, the question is, can they win the other two? And you know, Rio Grande coach has just been so good for so long.
He sent over 100 kids to the next level. He sent over 100 kids to the next level. What Coach Griego does in that community is simply phenomenal. I've had a chance to get to know him on a personal level over the last few years. He's just a leader. He's someone that you trust your kids with, right? He's proven on that campus that you can build a winner there, right? Because other sports have struggled. But it's not, you talk to Coach Griego, it's not about wins and losses for him, but he gets a lot of wins, and that's a good team.
He certainly does.
Leon Ceres at the top of that lineup, and then Eduardo Cardenas can hit the you-know-what out of the baseball. That is a really good hitting ball club. If they get enough pitching in this tournament, that's a team no one's going to want to see.
It's all about the pitching. But, I mean, that's across the board. So when we look at the number 1 seed, Carlsbad, that's a team that they've got a whole lot of guys who can potentially pitch. You can throw in Mac Mabry. You can throw in Tristan Thomas. You can have Nolan Perry pitch. But the question is, are those guys going to be good enough to fight off most of the field? So El Dorado is a team that has pretty much one really strong pitcher. And then after that, it's all pitching from committee. So one game, sure, you can win with one pitcher, but when you have to play not just the first week you have to play a series, but then after that, you're going to have to use multiple pitchers. So the question is the pitching for everybody. Rio Grande, they've got a couple of solid guys, but it's going to be tough down the road. I think Rio Grande, though, has more depth than most teams tend to.
My question is, what's going on at La Cueva there? A couple of losses this season that kind of make you scratch your head. They don't look the same, but they have a lot of pitching as well. When do they throw Max Magaha? When do they throw Grayson Long? Then their super reliever, obviously, is Matt Dene. He can throw whenever. They got Tyler Manuel, right? So they have the arms, but how do they stack them up? And is there something wrong with La Cueva? Because they just don't look like themselves. And really, this is the same team as last year, minus Nico Sandoval at the top of the lineup. So anytime you have Achille Karras and Matt Dene in the middle of that lineup, have that pitching and that lineup, it's the best lineup in this bracket. I think we can agree on that, right?
Sure, but if they have to get through that side, there's a team lurking on the bottom of our screen that has beaten La Cueva a couple of times, and you mentioned a Nico. Well, Sandia's got a Nico of their own on the roster that's throwing just darts all game long. So look, you mentioned when do they pitch Magaha? You're probably thinking early in that Piedra Vista or maybe late in the Piedra Vista side, but you can't pitch him against Cleveland because you're going to need Magaha to get through Sandia.
By the way, the team that was the runner-up, their Hobbs, they've gotten better, right? They still have Zach McPeters. Probably one of the best players in the tournament is Bernie Socrates Puig, 7 home runs, 30 RBIs. They've slugged 17 home runs as a team. That's the runner-up. I don't think we're giving Hobbs enough attention. Can Hobbs win this thing?
Hobbs certainly can. I'm a big homer for Oregon Mountain because I've seen what their defense can do last year. So and those are two familiar teams. Obviously, they're from down south. They don't play in the same district, but you tend to at least sneak over and see each other. It's when you've gone to a championship last year, your expectations are to go back. But I just don't think that there's a lot of chance that we don't see. You know, I didn't like to commit earlier. I will commit now. I'm thinking Carlsbad takes both 5As, softball and baseball, because their teams are just so strong this year.
Wow. That championship, by the way, it's 10:30 at Isotopes Park for that 5A baseball championship. That'll do it for this bracket breakdown. I want to thank the guys in the back make all the magic happen, Josh Brown and Jason Pohl. You know, that's our star shortstop. That's our starting pitcher back there. We're just hoping to get off the bench. That's Aaron. I'm Sebastian. State baseball and softball is coming up.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico.